With version 6.4 just days away from release, bringing some of the most insane reruns and Varka's official debut, we now have a much clearer picture of what the future patches are going to look like. So let's not waste any time and start with the banner roadmap. Starting with version 6.5. Version 6.5 will introduce Linnea, the brand new Lunar Crystallise Geo support, mainly designed to synergize with Zibai. If you haven't checked out my dedicated video on her kit, make sure to watch it after this one. Following that, we'll be getting 2 new characters in version 6.6, Nicole, confirmed as a Pyro unit, and from the recent livestream, it is now officially confirmed that Lohen will be a Cryo character. Then finally, in the next big patch, version 6.7, we are expected to get Sandrone, an Electro character who is most likely going to function as a Superconduct-focused DPS. This also raises a very important question. If Sandrone is designed around Superconduct, who is actually going to be her dedicated support? Right now, we don't have any specific Cryo unit that clearly fits that role, so there's still a lot of speculation around how her final teams will look. Now let's properly break everything down, starting with version 6.5. Linnea is going to be a major release, especially for players who already pulled Zibai or those who need a strong Geo support for older Geo DPS units like Navia or Ito, especially when paired with Columbina. For some accounts, that alone makes her a must-pull, and even for players who don't own Zibai, pulling Linnea as a standalone support is never going to be a bad decision. She can fulfill most of your Geo needs, especially if you already have Columbina. Think of her like Lauma or Nefer, units that are strong enough to elevate your entire account even without their dedicated DPS. However, being Geo also comes with disadvantages. Similar to Anemo, Geo tends to be more restricted in team archetypes. Linnea will mainly function in Hydro-based teams or Hydro synergy compositions. Unlike Nefer, who as an Electro unit is incredibly flexible, Electro can slot into Hyperbloom with Dendro, Electro charged with Hydro, Overvape with Pyro, or even certain Anemo-based setups. Electro is simply one of the most flexible elements in the game. Because of that, while Linnea is a very strong pull, she is not on the same universal value tier as Lauma or Columbina, especially for players who don't own Zibai and aren't particularly interested in Geo teams. Before we continue, quick reminder. If you're already out of Primo Gems, do check out Loot Bar. They're offering massive discounts for current banners and frequently drop additional active discounts whenever a new banner releases. Just use my link below, enter your UID and server, and your top-up should arrive within minutes. It's completely safe, used by millions of players worldwide, and they provide 24/7 customer support. Alright, coming back to the roadmap. If you're planning your polls around Linnea, keep in mind that we are also expecting reruns, including Mavuka, Lauma, and possibly a Natlin unit like Sitlali within the upcoming patches. If you're saving for those reruns, you might need to start grinding now because rerun phases are expected to begin as early as version 6.5. Now, talking about version 6.6.
Version 6.6 is expected to bring us 2 brand new characters. The first one is Nicole. She's most likely a Pyro support, designed specifically for mono-Pyro setups. Lore-wise, she is one of the original 8 from the Hexerei, the witches who founded the organization. And because of that, it strongly suggests she could be a dedicated, possibly broken support for Hexerei units, most likely Varka. She could work alongside Durin or even older DPS units like Klee. Considering her lore importance and the amount of hype around her, she is very likely going to be a must-pull for Varka players, and even for players who main Durin. She's expected to be a more generic buffer, providing attack and damage bonus, which is very different from the recent Lunar-focused buffers. That alone makes her value very different for most accounts. We can also expect that she may provide additional specific buffs when played alongside Anemo characters, possibly boosting the main DPS through raw attack scaling and damage bonus amplification. After Nicole, Lohen will be joining us as a Cryo unit, and based on recent leaks, he might be added to the standard banner shortly after his limited banner ends. That honestly lowers some of the hype around him. However, there is still a possibility that he could be connected to the Hexerei or function as a Cryo partner for Varka, since Varka currently lacks a strong dedicated Cryo buffer. Now this brings us to a bigger question. Right after Lohen, we are expected to get Sandrone, an Electro DPS. And that immediately raises a concern. Who is going to synergize with her? Right now, we don't really have a proper support that enables Superconduct in a way that feels meta-relevant, which is why many players are speculating that Superconduct itself might receive a massive rework. Most likely, it could be redesigned into something completely different from its current form. And that would make sense. Sandrone is positioned as the second major release after Columbina. Hoyoverse simply cannot afford to make her an ordinary unit. There are also early leak mentions of a potential unit called the Snow Maiden, who could release around Sandrone or possibly in version 6.8. But as of now, nothing is confirmed. It's all speculation. On top of all of this, we are also expecting heavy reruns. Units like Columbina, Nefer, Durin, and even Varka could return back-to-back during this cycle, which makes these upcoming patches extremely stacked, especially for players who missed them during their first banners.
On top of that, Hoyoverse could easily surprise us with a Chronicle banner, something like a Fontaine Chronicle, which is most likely to drop around version 6.8 or alongside the next Nation release. If that happens, these patches become even more stacked.
We can also expect potential kit adjustments to older Nation characters, like those from Leeway and Inazuma, which could once again shuffle the entire meta landscape.
As a low spender or free-to-play player, you can normally secure around 3 to 4 limited characters between versions 6.4 and 6.7 if you complete events and daily commissions consistently. And because of that, it becomes extremely important to clearly decide who you actually want to pull. Whether your Hexerei team needs Nicole, or you need a rerun unit to finally complete your team, or maybe you're planning to build an entirely new team from scratch for your account. We are about to enter a brand new region very soon. That means new mechanics, new reactions, and entirely new characters. And judging by how lore-heavy nod-krai is becoming, future power shifts are almost guaranteed. So having strong, future-proof units that can serve your account long-term is more important now than ever before. Let me know in the comments, who are you pulling for? Are you more excited about Nicole's lore, or about Sandrone finally entering the game? And of course, don't forget to subscribe for more updates. Till then,